No one is coming to save us, graphic designers. It is a positioning problem currently, and then you just need to, yes, we have to wear a lot of creative hats, but now I think we have to be more specific than ever as to what those hats are. Think about how we approach the business of creativity. Okay, graphic designers, listen up. This video is for you. If you are a graphic designer currently working in creative industries, commercial industries, if you're working for an agency, if you're freelancing, if you run your own business or a small studio, or you work for a big agency, or you own a big agency, I think it's important that we look around and realize that our current form, the way we currently operate, is limited. We all know what commodification is. If you're competing on price, then you're a commodity and you will be in a death spiral to the bottom where you and your competitor will just go, oh, I'll do it for this, I'll do it for that, I'll do it for cheaper, I'll do it for cheaper. Now, graphic design is in a bit of a commodification era, and it means that there's less demand. There's definitely less demand. If you've been through the first quarters, I'm recording this video in 2024, end of. So January through to August, not good times, eh? Quite hard. And I think that is obviously a knock-on effect. If you've got a business that is going through hard times, we're in a recession, we're in an American election, it's tricky times for the stock market, and obviously creative budgets are the first thing to really go, and that has a knock-on effect. Yes, we have to wear a lot of creative hats, but now I think we have to be more specific than ever as to what those hats are. If you've noticed, a lot of people care more about converting and sales, and for good reason. You need that on a healthy balance sheet. But they are going down this more data-driven, specific stuff. So hopefully, graphic designers out there, you are learning new skills to allow yourself to exist in the new market. Whether you're a generalist or a specialist, whether you're hyper creative or you kind of straddle the business of branding, it's a very intangible answer, but I would say get opinionated. Come up with a way of working that you believe in. Come up with a process that is something that you can talk about and be proud of. It might mean in the short term that you lose a bit of work, and if you need to quietly do some bread and butter in the background, go for it. We all do that. But I think you're front and center. How you talk online, what you talk about online should be very much about you building towards your way that you would solve a problem, your philosophies, your ideas, your approach, what it's like for businesses to come and work with you. No one is coming to save us, graphic designers. We really need to think about how we approach the business of creativity and the business of branding and branding ourselves, and taking all those skills that we use and sell as services to other people and applying them to us. Hence, I'm in front of the camera. I've spent 15 years working in branding behind the scenes. The camera wasn't on, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, and that doesn't mean that I didn't gain a lot of experience that I can now talk about. It involves getting over some of those camera shy ideas, yes, but here we are. You've got to adapt and pivot. Otherwise, eventually what will happen, it hasn't happened now, but eventually what will happen is you'll grow in your career, and then you'll hit a point where you want to charge a certain premium, or you want to charge a certain amount of money, and you are now at the ceiling of where you're too expensive, that it's silly to work with you, and you might as well just go work with an agency where you get infrastructure, you get accounts, you get designers, you get junior designers, you get everything else in between, rather than work with you where they just have you. Doesn't matter how dialed you are, that is a more attractive deal. But the problem is you're also going to have all the designers that are coming up that are younger than you, that will be very savvy, will be using a lot of AI, will be able to charge half the price, that brands might be like, oh, well, I'm just going to give this guy a go, because if it doesn't work, I can give that guy a go, and then that guy a go, and that guy a go. And I can try 5 guys before I come up with the same bill that it would have been just to work with one guy, or I can take all that money and work with an agency. So you're going to hit that weird position in the market soon, because all I know is that it's in flux and it is changing. But what I do know is that staying exactly the same, or doing what we've done always, which is just create lovely mood boards and create lovely logos and go out and do nice art direction and create a logo with a color palette that does this, and that'll be able to be generated soon. There'll be done for you agencies that will be able to work specifically with the small fish, which just need funding. So all they need is a quick brand to go off and get money or get investment. I've been freelance for 8 years. I was full-time for 5, but I've been freelance. I've run my own agency as a limited company for 8 years. And I have had to adapt and evolve with the market. And if you've been on LinkedIn recently, if you're in the freelance market, there's a lot of people going for the same job. The good thing is there's quite a lot of shit out there. There's quite a lot of new people who are coming into the market who haven't really done anything, but are using that term, that heavily searched SEO of graphic design, branding, brand strategist, all those words. Yeah, I think if I was doing some tactical points, I would say massively increase your cold outreach and your warm nurturing. Massively talk to everybody you worked with and see how you can help them. I would really, really, really talk to creators and influencers that are on the rise, people that are around 10K, people that will soon be launching products and will soon be launching businesses, because that is where the money's at, I believe. That's where the attention is at. Imagine, let's not just talk about Mr. Beast or Logan Paul or KSI, but take that idea and scale it right down. There are agencies that are springing up that are working with influencers to understand their audience and then just build a product around it. Can you do that for cheaper? Can you take all of your ideas and do that for less than these big products? Can you position yourself as the underdog, but with all the experience? It is a positioning problem currently, and then you just need to apply a lot of volume for it. I've said this in a previous video, but work out the signal and then outwork the noise. Because otherwise, I think it's going to be crickets soon, because there is a lot of work out there and people want to work with people. People don't really want to work with faceless agencies that cost them loads of money that just end up putting the junior on and the overseer is on there for a day. They want to work with people. They want to work with people that are like them. And predominantly right now, you have a lot of nimble agencies that are, 1 to 12 people big, sometimes probably half that. You've got one-man agencies, especially with AI, that are building up. Those kind of people don't want to work with, bureaucracy. That's why they got out of that, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. They want to work with absolute killers, creative gun for hires that know what they're doing. And maybe it means you need to learn about taking on more of the risk, and getting better at the sell. So maybe you position yourself that you do revenue share. Maybe there's a rev share model that you can do. So you work with them and then you get a percentage of the revenue share, not the profit. Otherwise, they'll hide it all in the budgets. Maybe it means that you have to get a little bit savvy with who you work with. Maybe you work with 5 small companies rather than one big one. Maybe if you were a photo editor, you suddenly become a thumbnail designer. If you were a motion designer, you now become a YouTube editor. You can play around with it. I'll let you work that out. But this is an early warning and a little bit of a note to self and a warning to self that it's time to grow and really expand the horizons of the market, because it's changing, and how we were previously just being a very one-dimensional graphic designer is no longer enough. So yeah, don't get left behind.